You are listening to Single Smart Female.
This is us letting it all hang out about your love life, examining Steph's dating experiences, and answering your hot topic dating questions. Just you, Steph, and me. No topic is off limits and no filters involved. This is Jen.
And I'm Steph. If you have a question about your love life that you would like us to answer, you can submit your question at singlesmartfemale.com.
Hello, Single Smart Female, and welcome to show number 30. I'm your host, Jen Burton, and here with me today, which is no surprise, is my co-host, Steph. But you should be definitely excited that she's here with me because she makes the show a lot better.
I'm excited.
I'm glad you're excited because I'm thrilled. Yay. Anywho, we are going to dive into our question for today, and Steph will do the honor of reading the question because I don't want to look at a computer screen today. My eyes are not feeling the best.
Oh, I don't mind it though. So I will go ahead and take it from here. We have a lovely lady from LA. We'll call her our LA Lady Love. And she writes, I absolutely love your podcast. Oh, thank you. We love you too.
She's a smart lady. Smart lady in LA.
My question is about showing interest and flirting with an acquaintance. I want to know what the best way to show interest with someone you would consider an acquaintance. Someone you see from time to time and speak to, usually in a group, and follow on social media, for example. About a year ago, in looking at an event on Instagram, I came across a handsome guy's page. He had attended past events, and I loved what he spoke about on his page, and his posts were hilarious. So I followed him. He has over 1,000 followers. Some months later, he posted about a topic that I was very interested in and passionate about, so I messaged him, and we had a great discussion. As a result, he ended up following me. I'm private. I didn't expect to run into him.
She means her Instagram account, right? It's private?
Yes, it's private.
Got it.
Exactly. So like he's all 1,000 followers, open to all, and she's private, and he reached out to her.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. So I didn't expect to run into him, but several months later, I went to an event put on by the same people, and he was serving the beer there. I definitely couldn't avoid him because it was partially a beer event. So I took it as an opportunity to introduce myself to him, not sure if he would recognize me or not. He responded back saying, I know. I felt a little bit silly, but I chatted with him for a little while that night. We had had a few more exchanges online and ended up running into each other at a completely different event when I was with my sister. I talked to him again, but in a group. He seemed to be a really sweet guy. I have another friend who knows him and talks very highly of him and encouraged me to get to know him better because she knows I'm single. The same friend ended up changing our ladies' night dinner to the location he was going to be at for his beer event. He launched a brewery, so I could talk to him. I ended up talking to him quite a lot, and it's clear he enjoys talking with me. He smiles a lot, makes a lot of eye contact, keeps coming back over to talk, etc. My friends and sister are telling me to go for it, but it's hard to tell if he's just a nice guy. So I ended up texting him to talk about a show that he was telling me to watch and chatted briefly about that, and then I told him that we should hang out on one of the days that he is downtown. I know that he is busy and has been launching his business and is often outside the city, but I figured that it was a way for me to show interest. He responded back saying, I'll hit you up. And those emoji praise hands.
Oh, the emoji praise hands.
Oh, the I'll hit you up.
I pray that you'll respond to me.
I think he's just being nice, but is uninterested. How should I proceed with this? And for future reference, what's the best way to show interest to an acquaintance? Some background information. I went on my first date in probably 7 years through a dating app. Went on 2 dates, but didn't want to go on more because I knew it wasn't a good fit. I totally love the idea of mantourage dating. I don't get approached often when I go out, although I love to smile and am very friendly. I do think I have a challenge with showing interest due to fear of rejection. I am 31 and have been single since about 26. And I'm meeting guys online and both out, church, events, restaurants, etc.
Okay, Miss LA Lady Love, Jen here, if you didn't know that already. And first off, I want to tell you I'm very proud of you for being brave enough to approach him and to attempt to make contact with somebody that you just knew through. Did she know him just through Instagram initially?
Yeah.
Initially, okay. I think that's pretty brave. And as I was thinking about, what I should tell you for how to approach a man, first off, I don't think you did anything wrong. I believe Steph is going to talk about something she thinks you could work on a little bit, but for the most part, I think you did a really darn good job, and you should be very, very proud of yourself considering that you haven't been dating a lot lately. Now, with that said, and as we were going through some of your background information, a couple things came up for me, and I realized that one of the things going on here is, even though I do think that you are brave, I feel like there's still a low level of courage behind all of this. And one of the things that happens, regardless of whether or not a man reciprocates our attention, when we approach, we need to go into it with a level of confidence that I think you might be lacking a little bit of, and I'd like the opportunity to work further with you on. In fact, one of the things that's going on right now, and you can check out if you go to thecouragekit.com, Steph and I will be hosting a program that I've had lots of success with, helping women build their romantic courage muscle, because I can definitely give you different techniques and approaches, but none of it's really about the technique you use. It's all comes back to the confidence behind the technique, because even the crappiest techniques can work well if a woman has true confidence behind it. Now, confidence doesn't mean that you eliminate all the fear, of course. It's that you move through it even though you have the fear, and you do it and find enjoyment in it at the same time and have fun with it. So I'm going to encourage you at this point, instead of still focusing on this guy, to start to work on your mantrage. And if you want help with that, go to thecouragekit.com and register to work with us in our amazing group program so that we can really help you start to boost that and take that to another level. But I want you to work on building your mantourage, becoming a lot more romantically confident with guys. And again, it doesn't mean that there's not any fear at all. It means that you are willing to have a great time, really enjoy who you are as a woman in reference to men, up your flirting skills. And by the way, ladies, flirting skills do not mean they have to be sexual. It's playful, it's conversation, getting better at that interaction, that back and forth with men. If you want to take it to a sexual level, you can, but flirting does not have to be sexual. And really moving forward and enjoying this dating journey, because from what I hear, I want you to do some more dating. Also, one more little thing, and then I want to turn this over to Steph because she has something really important that she wants to share with you. But one little thing I noticed you said is that these guys, the other guys you went on a date with, aren't a good fit, and they may very well not be. There might be some questionable things about them. And I'm not talking about questionable things, but a lot of times we women spend a lot of time disqualifying men instead of taking some time and going out on some more dates with them and exploring whether or not they have the potential of being amazing with you. So meaning you might show up on a date and a guy might be extremely nervous around you, and that date might come off as he's not a good fit because he couldn't communicate as well as he needed to, or, he got really caught up in your beauty and he said some stupid shit and there's a lot of different things that can happen. So be aware of that, and also be aware of that it's not just their job for it to be a great date. There's a huge role that they play in this, of course, but I need you to be willing to be someone that he can have fun with, have a conversation with, have different conversations, have some back and forth, maybe banter, maybe just conversation. Be willing to bring different ideas and activities to the table and explore that realm of dating and making dating a lot of fun for you. But I want to go back to what I said. I mentioned Steph had something that she really wanted to bring up in this conversation.
So one thing that, and it's not necessarily clear in your question whether or not you were doing this, but something that I wouldn't be surprised could be happening with your interactions with this man. You may feel like you're so obviously interested and so obviously showing your interest to him, but you might be coming off as just business friendly, right?
Yes.
So like if you're not in the practice of flirting very often or going on dates and showing that kind of interest, like there is a difference between showing interest in a person or the things that they're interested in versus showing romantic interest. And he may have no real understanding that you're interested in him romantically. I do understand that you put yourself out there by asking him to hang out sometime, but again, that's vague. And this is something, once you start to feel more comfortable, you build more confidence, more romantic courage, because I know that this is hard for anyone who's, even if they have built some romantic courage, it takes a little while to get used to, but something that you could say in the future to somebody that you are trying to connect with, you just met, hey, I wouldn't be opposed if you wanted to take me out on a date sometime. Be very clear.
Can I tell you something funny that happened a few weeks ago, Steph, that I haven't told you yet?
Yes, please.
So because I'm in a relationship, I tend to, well, actually, I don't flirt sexually with men. I do flirt in playful ways, meaning we just have fun banter sometimes. But sexually, I keep saying I almost never do. I actually never do.
Yeah.
Until a couple weeks ago.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, yeah. This was actually a big whoops. And I told my husband about it, and he got a little bit jealous because it's not something that I normally partake in anymore. But I'm not going to lie. It was fun. So I was at the store. And I had no intention of pursuing this. I had no even desire to pursue it. I couldn't believe it came out of my mouth, but it was really fun at the same time. I was at the store, and there was a gentleman who worked at the store, and he was doing something at the store, and I was looking at something behind what he was doing. This gentleman looked at me and asked if he was in my way. And I said, no, you're not in my way at all. He goes, are you sure? And I looked at him. I said, well, do you want to be in my way? The look on his face was priceless. It floored him. It floored him so much that he almost didn't know how to respond. And he's like, girl, you're going to get me in trouble.
That's amazing.
And I couldn't help but smile because I miss that sexual flirtation that goes on. I do a lot of it with my husband, but I do miss some of it sometimes with people you don't necessarily know, and just the unexpected nature of it that I experienced when I was man-tourage dating. It's really a lot of fun, and I hope you ladies, like I said, it doesn't have to be sexual, but if it ends up going there, just remember it doesn't mean that you have to actually act out on that, but it's fun to have some of those sexual flirtations, and I encourage them, especially while you're single.
Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let us rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. We'll see you at thecouragekit.com. Okay, lovely ladies, it's time to hear an update on Miss Jen's love life. I can't wait to hear all about it. Jen, how's your love life?
It sucks.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's been quite difficult lately, and I am not super happy about discussing all this today, but in the spirit of full disclosure, like we have promised everyone, I am going to tell you what's been going on in my love life, and it has been very stressful. Very, very stressful.
So what's happening?
Well, last time we talked, I was talking about how everything's pretty much status quo. Everything was good, but it wasn't exactly super magical. And I was like, wow, we're due for some magic here soon. And the exact opposite happened. My husband had a serious medical issue, and it kind of turned our world upside down for a little bit.
That will turn your world upside down. So do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, first off, it was not fun. It was not magical. I don't like talking about it. I feel like a little girl right now, feel very stubborn, and I just kind of want to say screw everything and not talk about it. But it's getting much better. We ended up in the emergency room, and we were very nervous about getting some very, very bad medical news. And he was pretty ill for a while. And along with the illness, he came some extreme exhaustion, a lot of mood swings, and a lot of grumpiness. And rightfully so, he felt like shit. And I found out that I really suck at caretaking. I had a lot of emotions around it. I'm not Miss, oh, honey, here, let me do this and this. I mean, I did what I was supposed to do as a partner, but I found a lot of resentment coming up in me because of it. And I am processing it all, and it's getting much better now that we found out he is not seriously long-term ill, and we don't have to keep going on with this process. But I'm not going to lie, I have a lot of guilt around all the resentment I felt towards him. A lot of, I guess anger would be a good word. Resentment, and then now it's transformed into guilt because I don't like caretaking for people. I'm not a huge fan of it, and I struggled because there was so much going on. I struggled with finding a separation of being able to escape from it temporarily so that I could balance myself. I did keep seeking that. Now, I always recommend that to women in this situation where they are put into a caretaking position, but I'm not good at it. I'm not super good at it. I don't like it. I love him. I don't like being his nursemaid on any level. It's not part of my wheelhouse.
Well, that's fair. It's definitely not for everyone. And I understand the whole resentment thing. It's because it's hard to recognize sometimes that, like, when someone that you love is going through something, a lot of times you're also going through something, but there's no one to take care of you.
Yes, and then at the same time, you have to contend with the guilt that they're going through something a lot worse, even though you're angry, you're upset, you're bitter. You feel the guilt on top of that because you know that what they're going through is really important. It was not a piece of myself that I was very fond of. It's something that I have to own in certain ways and know how to contend with, because the truth is in life, we're going to face adversity. We are going to hit walls at times. Our partners are going to experience things. And he has a very different personality than me. He's a very strong man. He's got a lot going for him, but at the same time, when it comes to health issues, I'm not always convinced he's a fighter like I am. And that bothered me, and I was having to contend with that. Are you doing enough? Are you fighting? Are you doing what needs to be done to really take care of yourself? And it pissed me off, Steph. I'm not going to lie. And I had to back off from him and pull my energy back from him because I didn't want to be aggressive with him in any way, especially when he was going through that situation where I just felt like telling him, come on, could you please fucking fight a little bit harder and let's move through this. The good news is, though, he is fine. He's getting much, much better.
That's good.
Yes, the mood swings have gone away, thankfully, because he was very grumpy and I didn't like that. And I find myself feeling a little bit nervous about saying he is completely 100%, but it's been several weeks now and he seems to be doing much, much better. The doctors have given him an all clear. I, again, am nervous about saying, oh yeah, he's perfectly healthy. And I don't want to be that way, but I'm just like, whoa, crap, if we hit this again really soon, my head might explode. I know it won't, but I feel like my head might explode. But I'll, of course, would be there for him again. And still, I'm processing all these different feelings I had, and especially the guilt piece, which I don't encourage guilt. I think the only time guilt is really an appropriate feeling is when you're trying to decide whether or not you should feed your child. I'm just joking. I would never not feed my child. She's very, very well fed.
She is. I can attest to that. She's a well-fed child. Healthy food as well.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, single lady, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
Approaching a man is never about the right technique. It is always about the confidence behind the technique. This is Jen.
And this is Steph.
Don't forget to subscribe to our show in iTunes. And if you'd like to submit a question to us, come see us at singlesmartfemale.com. And if you just want to come play around and learn more about mantourage dating, come see us at havehimyourway.com.
Talk to you next time.